Look at this solitary figure, standing perfectly still while the rest of the world rushes by. It raises a persistent question. Why do certain individuals navigate a chaotic environment with absolute silence, actively choosing to hold their words back? Observers frequently categorize this stillness as aloofness. We assume that because the exterior is motionless, the mind inside must be empty, or the personality is being intentionally withheld. Our social conditioning reinforces this, equating a constant stream of speech with intelligence and active engagement. We treat the person making the most noise as the person most involved in the room. In reality, silence is often the result of an intense internal workload. Running mental simulations, calculating social cues, and processing sensory data simultaneously, the brain prioritizes this heavy workload over the mechanical effort of speech. We must distinguish between two different internal states. On the left is introversion, the biological mechanism of a battery recharging in solitude. On the right is silence, an active computational filter processing a heavy stream of data points internally. Because we measure presence by sound, we remain blind to this cognitive volume. We miss the fact that for the quiet person, the internal world is actually louder than the external one. To understand how this works, we have to look past the judgment of others and examine the actual mechanical functions of a quiet mind as it moves through a loud environment. One primary function is deep processing. This is the requirement to thoroughly vet and analyze every piece of incoming information before formulating even a single spoken response. This filtering process is expensive. The central node is bombarded by chaotic arrows, rapidly depleting internal energy. Rapid communication burns resources unsustainably. By deploying a barrier of silence, depletion halts. Arrows reflect off the shield, allowing internal energy to stabilize and return to peace. This use of silence is an active, strategic system of resource management. It preserves the energy required to stay focused in a landscape of constant social pressure. While others are occupied with the mechanics of speaking, the quiet individual is engaged in a different set of behaviors entirely. They engage in environmental mapping, cataloging subtle physical details, the layout of the room, the shifting of light, or the movement of objects that those engaged in loud conversation usually miss. This state allows for the uninterrupted analysis of micro-behaviors. They track shifts in vocal tone, the tension in a stranger's shoulders, and unspoken hierarchies governing the group. They also utilize an internal emotional laboratory where complex feelings are deconstructed and understood privately before the person decides whether or not to show a reaction. By acting as full-time data gatherers in a world of distracted broadcasters, they maintain a significant informational advantage over the people around them. Living a primarily internal life provides elite cognitive benefits, but these come with significant long-term social costs. The advantages are clear: laser-like focus, a high degree of self-awareness, and maintaining emotional control even when the immediate environment becomes chaotic. However, we see the protection paradox in this diagram of a glowing fortress. It is designed to repel external threats and preserve energy, but the thick walls simultaneously trap that light inside. Absolute security creates absolute isolation. This protective barrier makes the quiet person a blank slate. Because they offer very little outward information, others tend to project their own insecurities and assumptions onto them. Despite this social friction, processing the world internally is a legitimate and highly effective way to navigate existence. The quietest people notice the specific patterns others ignore, proving that observation provides a clarity that constant talking often obscures. Subscribe for more insights into